Having a healthy savings culture has proven to be one of the surest ways to improve your personal finance experience to a large extent. In today's episode, I want us to talk about saving and specifically why I think it is very important that you have multiple savings accounts. My name is Susan Wanjiko. I'm very happy to have you on another episode of Finance Friday. So wealth building generally happens in three simple stages, okay? Making money, keeping money, then multiplying money. So obviously, the first step is ensuring that you have a source of income, which is making money, because you cannot save money that you do not have. All right. Then after you've started making a consistent amount on a regular basis, then you can get started on your savings journey. And that is keeping some of that money that you actually make, because if you spend all of it, you start living paycheck to paycheck and you're not able to move on some of your goals that require lump sum amounts of money that you cannot necessarily raise in 1 month. Now, after you've been able to save consistently, you've become regular at saving and you've made it almost second nature, it becomes very easy to become a regular investor if you've already been practicing saving, okay? Now, today what I want us to talk about is saving, and specifically why I think you should actually have multiple savings accounts, okay? So we save because we have quite a number of goals, right? We have short-term goals like that trip you want to make this year, or Christmas that is coming up, or somebody's birthday, or a MacBook that you want to buy. So many reasons why we need to save, right? So we have some short-term goals, we have some medium-term goals, and we have some long-term goals, all right? So one of the things that I need to say is goal-based saving is the most efficient way to achieve your financial goals. And this starts off the reasons why I feel like we should have multiple savings accounts, because we have multiple goals and one savings account cannot necessarily serve all the goals that we have, because they have different timelines, they have different financial requirements, they have different capital intensity. So you need to first of all start by determining what exactly are my goals. Is this a short-term goal? Is this a long-term goal? Because if you can target very specifically your goals, then it is very easy to save up for them. So that's the first thing I need to say. You need to start doing goal-based savings. Now, when I started my investment journey, or rather my personal finance journey, I had like one account where I'd put pretty much everything. If an emergency came up, that was the account. If I needed to pay rent, that was the account. If whatever came up, like all my money was lumped up into one account. And I started experiencing a challenge where one thing came up and it would literally drain that whole account, and another thing that is supposed to be taken care of wouldn't be taken care of because I didn't have money for it, because this thing came up and all my money was gone. So I started realizing the importance of like separating or putting my money in small pockets or baskets, so that I can actually be able to know this specific account is my emergency fund. This specific account is for this reason, okay? So when it comes to goal-based saving, I think I'm crazy about these two savings accounts, okay? And I think I've mentioned them here. The first account is your emergency fund, because guys, you don't know when, the day, the time, the hour that an emergency is going to come. So if you mix up all your money for moving around and all that with your emergency fund money, it becomes very difficult to know, okay, am I secure in case something was ever happen to my job or my ability to make an income? So that is the first account that I definitely set up. The second account that I set up was my sinking funds. So I've said accounts because I have two. I have one specific account that will take care of travel expenses and car expenses, and then I have another account that takes care, I call that my lifestyle account. So it pretty much funds everything that I need to do throughout the year, whether that is home improvements, any tech upgrades, soft life, just so generally, like that's why I call it a lifestyle account. And I've seen people with children who've set up a specific account to take care of their children's school fees, wardrobe needs, school trips, and all that. Okay, I've seen someone with a business and they have realized that the business gets some certain emergencies, and they've set aside a specific account to save up for the business in case anything comes up. All right, so there are very many reasons or very many things that you can set up a savings account for. Okay, now that we have gotten that out of the way, let me give you 5 reasons why having multiple savings accounts will work. Reason number 1 is that it's actually very easy to keep track on your progress. If I know that this is my emergency fund, for instance, it's very easy for me to know, for instance, if I had a target of 1 million, I can actually keep tabs. This month I check my balance, I'm at 50,000, 70,000, 80,000. I know with regards to this specific goal, this is where I am. So when you're able to separate the different goals and set specific savings accounts for those goals, then it's very easy for you to track your progress and to know how you're doing with regards to that goal. It also makes it very easy for you to segment where to put your income as you're saving and to be able to automate those savings, because it's, you know, this is supposed to go to my emergency fund, this is supposed to go to my sinking funds or my lifestyle account or my travel account or my children's account. So it's very easy for you to track your progress and to even know whether you're slacking on one goal or you're really focusing so much on this one goal that you're neglecting the others. Okay, so that's the first reason. The second reason why you should have multiple savings accounts is that it reduces the chances of misspending or even overspending. You see, having all your money in one account really increases your chances of spending that money on things that you hadn't necessarily planned to spend the money on. And this has happened to me, guys, so many times. So I don't know whether you found yourself in a situation where you've actually been faithful in saving, like you've been trying to put some money aside, but then like this one thing comes up and you just empty the account and it's like you're back to zero. One of the most efficient ways to prevent that from happening a lot is to have specific accounts designated for specific things. One of the things I love to talk about, again, is an emergency fund, because we can never overemphasize the importance of that, okay? But like, if I know that this account is specifically for emergencies, I'm not about to take money from that account and buy shoes with it, because I've placed a level of importance of, or I've specifically designated that money for this one specific thing, which is emergencies. And so it really helps me to know, unless it's an emergency, I will not withdraw from this account. Again, if I have a specific account for the children, or I have another account for my lifestyle or for travel, I know exactly where the money is coming from. But when all my money is lumped up in one account, it gets very easy and things always come up and I will easily misspend or even overspend. Like, I'll give you an example. So one of the money market funds that I have takes care of car expenses and travel, as I earlier on mentioned. And you guys know how travel can just come up. You went out with your girls or with some friends or family, and all of a sudden a trip has come up. It keeps me in check to have a specific account for that, because if I don't have money in that account, then I cannot travel. I cannot commit to any traveling, because unless it's, again, an emergency, but I cannot commit to going to Diani if there's no money in that account. I have to go check my numbers and see, okay, do I have enough money to fund this trip, or am I just lying to myself? So it's really helped me to keep my finances in check and to actually be able to enjoy my money guilt-free, because if I withdraw from the travel account, then I travel guilt-free, because that is ideally what the money had been saved up for. So it will really, really, really help you with overspending and misspending if you can have specific account for specific things, and most importantly, work around the discipline to ensure that you don't use one account for what it's not meant for. Takes some time, it takes some discipline, some commitment, but it's very doable. Okay, now The third reason why I think multiple savings accounts will save your life is that it really helps with easy decision making with regards on what to spend on, how much, and where the money is coming from. So if, for instance, it's vacation money, I know exactly where it's coming from. If it is the children are going back to school, I know exactly where the money is coming from. So I don't have to go back and forth a lot with my finances because I know exactly where the money for what is going to come from. And even when I'm trying to keep tabs on myself, it's easy to know. Like, there are days I have frozen contributing into one account because I'm looking at the progress I've made in another account, and I'm like, okay, if I don't up my game here, I will not travel. Or if I don't up my game here, I'll actually not be able to purchase that thing, or I will not be able to decorate my home. So it helps with easy decision making. Like, you're able to look at your finances because it's very well planned and organized, and I'm able to make certain decisions either on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, a semi-annual basis, and I know where my focus should be, and I know exactly what I'm working on. So it really helps with decision making, okay? And then the other reason why having multiple savings accounts has worked for me, and I think it could also work for you, you're able to really take advantage of high interest rates. Now, this may or may not benefit you depending on how actively involved you are with your finances. So like, I'll give you an example. I have 3 money market funds, okay? One serves as my emergency fund, another one serves as a sinking fund A, and another one is a sinking fund B, okay? Because I've used those savings accounts for a while, and they are all in different firms, right? One is with CIC, the other one is with Sanlam, and the other one is with Zimele. It's very easy for me to compare the different interest rates and to know the different benefits, pros and cons of the different savings accounts. So it gives you an opportunity to be able to see, okay, if I wanted higher interest rates, where should I go, or where will I go? So it really helps you with good comparison of like the different companies, because guys, just because we are saying have multiple savings accounts, we don't mean have all of them in one account. Don't do that. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So diversify. I get this question a lot on my social media, on Instagram especially. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, I'm going to link my the link to my IG down below so that you can share, or rather you can follow me. I share a lot of good content on personal finance there as well. So as I was saying, I get a lot of questions when I'm talking about these sinking funds or emergency funds, and guys are like, okay, are these accounts in the same company or in different companies? I always recommend that they're in different companies, because I don't want company X to have all my money in case anything was ever to happen to them. Of course, I conduct thorough due diligence, but I love to spread out my money. So I know if it's an emergency, the money is coming from CIC. I know if it is travel thing, the money is coming from Zimele, say, for instance, okay? So you could actually be able to discover pros and cons of different companies like that. You could actually also be able to compare the interest rates, and that way you are better advised to either close an account, keep the account, or even put more money in that account because the interest rates are higher. Again, this is highly dependent on how actively involved you are in your finances, and if you even have the energy to keep up. But I've always loved to say, I think we work very hard for our money, and I honestly feel like we should work equally hard to know where to save and invest it to reap the maximum benefits, okay? So not all savings accounts are equal. You could go online and get people's recommendations that could or could not be biased, or you could just do your own research, get a couple and set up maybe 2 or 3 accounts. That way at the end of the year or 2 years, you're able to compare and contrast and know, okay, I think this is a better option to go with than this because of ABC reasons, okay? Lastly, it is a motivation booster, because when you're able to see your progress, like I remember there was a time I did not have an emergency fund. Guys, I kid you not, every time I log into that account and I see the progress I'm making, I get more motivated to keep going. Every time I log into my lifestyle account or into my sinking fund and I'm looking at the progress I've been making on my savings, honestly, it really pumps me up and I'm able to like go hard the next month. I feel like just seeing your progress generally motivates you to keep going. So I've found that when I'm able to do goal-based savings and I can be able to observe all of these accounts and I'm seeing my progress, I'm very, very motivated. Okay, so those are the 5 reasons why I think you should consider having multiple savings accounts. Now, before I end this video, I know you probably have a question. How do I manage 3 savings accounts or 4 savings accounts? 2 ways. Number 1, decide how you will actually use this account. Don't just set up random accounts because we said have multiple savings accounts. No, actually, first of all, decide what are your needs and how will you use these accounts. Okay, once you've been able to do that, decide exactly how much you want to dedicate to this account, and that cannot happen if you do not have a working budget. So in case you don't have a budget, you guys already know I have a budget tracking Excel sheet. I will link it down below. It has amazing tabs, like somewhere where you can track your savings goals, your projects, all those projects you're saving up for. So you first of all need to list down your projects, work around with the numbers, the monthly targets, and then bring that figure onto your budget so that you can be able to know these are the number of accounts, this is the purpose that each account serves, and this is how much I want to be able to contribute. Now, if you tend to forget or to debate a lot with yourself, it helps to set standing orders or to automate your savings in such a way that when your income or your salary comes in at the end of the month, it's not your job to really send them out. They are automatically deducted, and that way you have saved automatically every month. All right, so that is how to manage those accounts. Also, always ensure that you're checking your monthly statements. I always recommend that you have a monthly date with yourself, a monthly money date, even if it's just in your house, but generally sit down with your statements, check them out, follow up on if you see any charges, ensure you understand them. Also, if you are in a money market fund, be keen on the interest rates. They always fluctuate, but just check that your money is also earning you some savings. So I hope that this video was helpful. Let me know in the comment section below what are some of the things that you think you want to save up for this month. I'd really like to hear. I'm actually going to be picking one of you. So if you've watched up until this point, super proud of you. I'm going to be picking one of you and I'm going to be gifting you the budget tracker for free. So let me know in the comment section exactly what you want to save up for this month, and I'll randomly pick one of you and share the budget tracker to your email. So thank you so much for watching. It's always a pleasure. I'll see you on the next episode of Finance Friday. Bye.